mean, I've always kind of been the class clown. Like, I like making people laugh. Went through, kind of like a dark period, but regardless, I just came out of it and I just took the gold out of the situation. Coming out of challenges like that, they only make you stronger. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to kind of know, like, this is what's happening. Like, this whole world just revolves around money. It's not that the music is bad. It's just the fact that you don't have a business plan. How can this make money? How can this bring in revenue? So, bruv, I wish I did something else.
I mean, I know you kind of briefly, as in, like, obviously we know each other from a music video that we did together. I know that you do music. I know you also do content. And, like, the one thing I like about what you do, is, like, you always focus on, like, it's got to be entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, it's got to be entertaining. Like, Mr. Too Elegant. Like, I love it. Do you know what I mean? I love to see it because I see a lot of people making stuff, and like myself as well. Sometimes I'll be doing something, and cool, like there might be some value in some of the content I do, but if it's not entertaining, people don't care. People won't watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know that you see the value in it. Is that like a conscious decision? Like every time, like, you make a bit of content, something for Instagram. Or is that just you?
Nah, I'll say it's a mixture, but it's mainly just me. Like, I mean, I've always kind of been the class clown, like I like making people laugh, like, and it's just at the same time it's just natural. So, just studying, like, I'd say the internet, especially in the UK, like the culture, we thrive a lot on banter. Like, that's something that literally people just love to see 24/7. Like you got pages like I'm Just Bait, Shadeborough UK, like we just love it. So it's just something that I do naturally and I'm just good at.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, you are good at it. It's funny. There's some funny shit out there. Yeah, and I do agree, like, British culture is very much, like, intertwined with, like, constant comedy within anything. Like, you see it whenever, even if you, like, work with people from, like, America or something, and then, like, they start getting a bit too serious, all about money and, like, but then, like, everyone in the UK is just, like, everything's banter. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how serious the conversation is, like, you always throw banter in there, and it's, like,
100%.
And then, like, throws it back down to, like, yeah. So, yeah, what's, I know you're on your sort of music grind at the moment. Like, how's that going?
Boy, I've been on that grind, for a long time, man. It's tough, man. Like, it's weird because it's become easier, like, to make a name for yourself. You don't necessarily have to be talented anymore because of just how social media is nowadays. You just have to go viral. Some people come from a different background. They'll go viral, they'll start making music, so it's tough. But at the same time, it's easy. It's weird. It's like a
conundrum.
Yeah. But it's funny because sometimes I make funny content and like music content, and that will seem to get more attention
than the music itself.
Even though people know that, musically, like, I can hold my own, like, basically, like, I've shown people what I can do. So yeah, man, it's been tough. Like, obviously I just left I was under a management for like a year.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Yeah. That's finished now? Yeah,
it's finished, man. I learned a lot from it, like a lot of good things. I took a lot of good things from that situation. Went through, kind of like a dark period, but regardless, I just came out of it and I just took the gold out of the situation.
What was the gold?
You just have to... Basically, it's like, first of all, aside from what I learned musically and the things that I got to witness, it's also like the negative stuff. No situation is perfect. But you kind of just have to take that and understand that, you know, it may come again in the future, it may happen. These kind of things, you know, tend to happen sometimes, but it's how you deal with them that really matters. And, you know, I just feel like coming out of challenges like that, they only make you stronger. So, yeah, man, I'll know how to maneuver next time, how to read people a bit more. And, yeah, man, just go focus on the music, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, really. I think I feel like the music industry is tough, man. It is hectic. It's like there's a lot of politics, a lot of stuff that like happens behind the scenes that people don't know about. But also at the same time, like when you're in it, and if once you start like kind of becoming part of the system a little bit more, I think it starts making a bit more sense because you realize how separated people are from the music, the people that are actually in control. Like, because I think like the people that are, the big labels and stuff, a lot of them in the higher positions, they don't necessarily care about the music. They just care about the business side. And yeah, if it makes money, that's why they're hired. They're not hired there to like make sure they release good music. That's like irrelevant to them. They don't care if like some like kid from TikTok makes like a good song and he only like blows up for like 2 songs. As long as they make money from it, that's all they really care about. So it starts making more sense like once you get in it and you realize, okay, it's not really about the music. Yeah, of course the music is important, but if it don't connect with people and if it don't like bring in the numbers, then like you're no use to nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's a shame. I mean, back in the day, they cared more about the talent. Like you couldn't really make a name for yourself unless you had talent. You know what I mean? There was a time where you had to know how to play instruments and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's not that anymore. Like if you're not, obviously if you ain't got the numbers, it's very, very tough to, even if you're talented, like it's very tough to kind of make it. But at the same time, you gotta take everything with a pinch of salt. You can't. I used to be frustrated about things like that. It still, in a way, sort of frustrates me a little bit, but now I kind of deal with it normally. Like, I kind of deal with it a bit better because I'm like, you know what, at the end of the day, it's a business. You know, one thing I heard one time, once I was on a space, actually, Nemy, shouts to Ims. He was co-hosting the space, and then I mentioned one of the situations I was in one time with this A&R, and then the guy said to me that the reason why, that happened was because you didn't approach him with a business plan. It's not that the music is bad. It's just the fact that, you don't have a business plan. How can this make money? How can this bring in revenue? So the music side is important, being creative, all of that is important, but the business side of it is also important. Regardless of what your sound is like, how can you package this in order for it to make revenue? That's like very important. Yeah. I
agree, and I don't think that's particularly unique to music either. I think I had a conversation with someone, a previous podcast I did, that it's in every industry. Like, I remember like when I was younger, I used to see like people make videos that I'd say were not as good as the videos I was able to make, but they would get way more clients and they'll get way more work and they'll do all this stuff. It's like, what? This don't make no sense. Like, how are they doing this? Like I can make better videos, you know what I mean? But like also, I realized like, okay, it's not just about how good a video is. It's like, it's all this other side of the story where it's like exactly what you said. Like, you got to have a business plan, or like just how is this thing going to bring revenue to, like who you're giving it to. Do you know what I mean? It's all it is. It's a transactional thing.
That's it.
Yeah. As long as, as much as, people like to believe like it's like a romantic story, like, oh, you make good music and like people like it, or like you make a beautiful film and people just it's like, can this make money for the next person? You know what I mean? It's all about transactional thing. And like, I don't think necessarily, it's a bad thing. It's just like you just kind of have to play the game.
You have to, man. It's like chess. It literally is like chess. Like, you literally have to play the game, because if you don't, then you get eaten up, man. Swallowed up, literally, like, because it's a treacherous game as well. Like recently, like I had a situation where I wasn't promised a few things, but I was told, yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I was literally walking in the office. I was like spending a couple hours there playing my music and so on and so forth. And then, boom, went to the next meeting. I was like just waiting for replies, tried to call up what's going on. I was there waiting for like 20 minutes, half an hour. I was like, rah, like that. Man's just going to do me dirty like that. Listen, at the end of the day, I walked home, and I was like, and I just have to be forward and, level up, get my numbers up. It's just part of the game. It's the game we're playing today. But at the same time, music labels and big companies anyway are starting to realize that we can actually do this without them as well. There's a lot of artists out there, people out there who aren't relying on majors, like major labels or companies to fund what they're doing, because they have the streets, like they have the people, backing them. So some people are organizing shows overseas, touring without major labels. So, and again, big numbers online as well. So also there's that side to it. You just have to know how to crack the system.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and again, it's like just to and kind of repeat myself here, but like again, it's not that's unanimous throughout all industries as well. So for example, in video I was reading something, there's this guy called, I think it's Max Fosh, he's this like YouTuber from UK, and he did like this video ages ago where it's you basically just like joined like an orchestra and play the triangle for like 12 seconds or something. It was just, it's like a video where he joins like an orchestra just to like play a triangle, whatever. And then recently, that comedian Ramesh Ranganathan?
No.
Any of them?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So him and this other guy, they recently done a show. It's like a proper like Sky made show where they do like Ramesh and this guy versus the world, whatever. Yeah. So they do each episode's thing, and one of the episodes was this basically kind of like the same concepts, like they join an orchestra and whatever. And like a production from Sky, like it's like 50 people involved, lots of money being spent on it, whatever. And that episode probably got around like 500,000 views. But then Max's thing is kind of like same concept. It took like 3 people to produce in like a few weeks, and it's got like 1.2 million views.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like the tables are kind of turning, and like the label, So there's definitely an opportunity for people to be like, okay, like. Yeah, labels, like, they can give you some backing, but, like, it's not the only way. Like, and actually, you're, like, they can be an advantage not to be with them as well. Like, if you figure out the game by yourself, and you have, like, a good little team around you, and you like all of you like, all right, we can actually make this work.
Yeah, man, there's that. It's so true. It's just... Also, labels could blacklist you as well. That's the thing. Like, if they see that you're doing all of it, there's that little fear as well of like doing your own thing, and these labels having all these major outlets, or like marketing outlets, where they can play on this radio, put you on this platform, and then if they see you don't want to join them or be under them, they can try and limit that. But I don't know to what extent that is true, but I know it does happen, not just in music and other things as well.
What makes you say that?
It's only because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy
yeah. Put a tin for
but let's hear it. It's a treacherous game, man. It's a treacherous game. Like, it's a treacherous game. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to speak further on it, but
yeah.
it's bound to happen at some point. And
Yeah.
I know it's happened to a few people.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, not just in music.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. No, 100. Like that is certainly true. I mean, you know, like when Elon joined Twitter, there was like all this stuff came out that, you know, people were talking about like shadow banning, whereas
Yeah.
like people were like, all of a sudden, like my Twitter, like not getting nowhere near as much as engagement, but nothing seems different. And then they realized they were being shadow banned because like there was like a lot of stuff going with this here going into Twitter and like basically being like, okay, like you got to limit this person because he's having too much voice on this side.
That's
So
slightly what happened to my little brother, actually.
really,
Yeah, he cracked like TikTok.
Yeah.
This is like, we're talking like, how old was he? He was like, at the time, he was like, I think 11, 10,
Wow.
11. He's getting like millions of views.
Nice.
Silly TikToks.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He wasn't even showing his face. And then at some point, I was like, oh, what's going on with your account? Like, what's happening? He's like, oh, I got shadow banned. And imagine, these are like little kids, like, starting to know about these kind of things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised that a girlfriend asked me a question. Well, he didn't ask me, but he put it on a story the other day. And he was talking about Instagram, and it's like, what's going on with the algorithm? You know what I mean? And I just put two and two together. I just said, well, they're not trying to let many people see what you're doing, or as many as it should, because they want you to pay for marketing. And these kind of things, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to kind of know, like, this is what's happening, you know? Like, this whole world just revolves around money, you know? Money talks, and it can get you in places where, you know, you wouldn't be able to get by yourself. That's just the way it is. Like, you actually become a threat when you start becoming a powerhouse on your own.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's hard to balance that, isn't it? Because also you can't let that like be your sort of main not sort of motivation, but like you just can't dwell on that thought too much.
No,
because then like it can get too discouraging.
Yeah.
So I think like there's a certain level of ignorance is bliss on that thing, because it's like if you can't, it's not your fault. You can't do anything about it. The best you can do is just like play the game as much as you want, make the best content or whatever it is you're making, and then just do you, because like you can get lost in it. Like you can get lost in the source big time.
Just do you, man. Be yourself at all times. Do you know what I mean? Like you are a brand. Like you are the brand. So just be yourself. Don't get lost in the source, like you said. And then yeah, man. Like that's it, really.
I really like the Elegant video. Yeah, I like that.
Shouts to Harvey, man. Noisyak, man. That's my boy, literally my neighbor.
Is
My
it?
neighbor shot that.
No way.
Yeah, he used to live right opposite me. So I'd step out my balcony and literally like
It's him.
just him. I'll be like, yo, Harvey. And we went to the same uni as well. But yeah, he moved out, but he just moved around the corner. So we still live in the same blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was literally a simple conversation. Yo, this is what I want to do. And he's like, hey, I've never been to Paris. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. No, I love the song as well. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice. Yeah, like I know it didn't really get that many numbers, like the video.
No, it didn't.
Do you worry about that?
You know what? I used to, but I feel like there's been a shift, like in terms of music videos. It's not, people don't really pay attention to them anymore as much as they used to, like back in, I'd say 2012, 13, that kind of era, like when ASAP first came out. Like probably till this day, ASAP still has that pull when it comes to music videos. But yeah, short form content is where, you know, I'm at, like, I get like 20K views on, I got 20K views on one of the short form content I did for that song. That's enough for me. Do you know what I mean? 20,000 people have seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important. Like, it's good to have those kind of numbers on YouTube. But at the end of the day, most people nowadays are on social media, like Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts is a good place as well. Like, I got more views on YouTube Shorts, so it doesn't really phase me no more.
Yeah.
It would be good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't phase me.
Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's like music videos, and again, like I'm repeating myself a bit from like what podcast did yesterday, but like I did a job the other day with Macmillan, you know, the charity. Out there like shooting like these social like adverts, whatever, and you know, it was me and another cameraman, you know, like fancy equipment, whatever.
Yeah.
And the digital marketing like team was there as well. And it's like, because we're meant to make some like UGC type stuff, so like user generated content that, you know, kind of fake it, so stuff shot on an iPhone. And the lady was like, look, like, shoot some stuff on your cameras, obviously, but like the stuff that works the best for us is just the stuff that's shot on iPhone. It's like, it's like by far. She's like, it's just like people just we've almost reached a stage now where it's like people are so used to seeing like stuff that just looks good that everyone's just like desensitized to it. Because you said like back in 2012, like it was still like a thing. If you make a good looking video, it's like, oh wow, like there was kind of a bit of a wow factor. But now if you see like a video like whatever 4K, like looks nice, good lighting, it's kind of like it's kind of like, you know, everyone can do that now. So it's like the kind of the wow factor of that is gone. So now it's more of about like all the other bits and bobs of it, where it's like, okay, the hook, the tension, the like call to action, like all this stuff that, you know, it's like the weird, like almost like psychology factors within a video, and not just within a video, within basically all types of content, where it's like it's not just about it looking good anymore, because that's kind of, we've gone past that now. Unless it's like crazy, do you know what I mean? Unless it's like like Oppenheimer, Drippenheimer. So
no, you're right, man. Like obviously, if your heart is still in it, like for example, I love like cinematography, films, all of that. So it's only normal for me to have a good, you know, video, you know, and obviously I'm passionate about it. So is Harvey, because I work closely with him. So we're just naturally going to do something like that. As well, like the budget we had for that video is it's like, if I told you how much it was, you'd be like, rah, like, and obviously we've worked together already. So, you know, like what we can make from like having a smaller budget and making it look like we spent way
of course more. Yeah.
So obviously putting all that effort in, it does in a way, like naturally you'd be like, but you can't dwell on that, you know. And also is just having to spend money on marketing. So I still haven't done that, which, you know, I'm looking to do. But, you know, cost of living crisis. But it's not all just like lost in the water. Like it's still something I'm looking to work on. But, you know, posting it on TikTok, Harvey's always getting at me like, yo, post it TikTok. Because I do feel like as well, once that one song will take off, or that one, whatever it is, whether it's something on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever it is, people will always go back to what you've released prior, because, you know, they want to see more content. So for me, I don't really feel like devastated, or, you know, I kind of just have to have a new outlook on it.
Yeah.
That's that. You know, and when I look at other artists, like, they have the worst videos I've seen, like, but those videos of like, they have millions of views. I kind of just go, oh, why did I spend all that time when I could have just gone outside and just shot a video, like, without having to put so much thought into it. Because at the end of the day, it's also about the music. Like, it's always about that. And how it makes you feel, the vibe of, you know, that's what people need to kind of remember. And that's why the other day, I was with a few friends of mine, invited them to the studio. and we literally recorded on a Friday, shot the video on a Saturday, and it was done by Sunday, you know, and we released it like, I think either the end of the week or the week after, like just because we're just going off the vibe, you know, and it felt free.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
Nice.
okay, I can do this. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have to sit down, do the treatment, and you know,
Spend a month
and da.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah. Again, it's like this goes back to like just playing the game and just learning it. But the thing is, it's important. I think it's important to put that effort in, because then it's like these sort of like not early stages, but the stages before people blow up. I think it's really important for them to be focused on the learning side of things. You know what I mean? Because like you learn by doing it, and like, you know, like you might like not get the views you wanted from like a big video, but the learning is what's number one, really. Like, I'm sure you learned so much making that, like traveling, like doing like stuff abroad, moving here, editing, treatments, like all that knowledge is like, it's very important.
Yeah, man.
And then you got putting that knowledge back into like, like short form or whatever it is you want to do going forward is like.
Yeah, like a lot of like do's and don'ts. What I'll do better next time, or what I won't do, and what I can do better, and how I can refine the product, literally in short form version. You know, people's attention span aren't as, you know, great, like big anymore, because just release a minute video, and then boom, get people hooked. You know what I mean? That's it, really. So yeah, man.
What's your like in your ideal world? Like, what do you want to be doing?
Me, like, I love music, like, because of the power.
Music.
Yeah, music. I like the mirrors, man.
Mirrors,
Man. Because of the power music has on people. It's like a drug. It can literally form someone's mentality, change it, solidify it.
Yeah,
it can do so much, you know. And the big corporations, they know that, you know. I just love making it, but it's still a springboard for me to everything else. But I've reached the age where I'm like, it's not the only way, you know, to get into where I want to. Because obviously going to uni to study film and building a passion for cinema and cinematography and stuff, and also I'm a big anime fan, you know. I'm still working on this comic book as well. That's something that I'm doing. There's also, like, I dance as well. Like, just, I don't know, man. I just love creativity in itself.
Yeah.
So in my ideal world is just showing people that literally anything you put your mind to do, you can, and you can be that person, and it's just inspiring other people, like, you know, and at the same time just getting paid for what I love to do. That's the main thing, you know. I feel like a lot of people are out there talented, but they're just too scared, too afraid to follow their heart and stuff like that. So I know it sounds mad cliche, but I've always been like that from young. You know, just be yourself, man. Don't be afraid. Like,
yeah, of course.
Do you? Like.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, that's like, it's very like dependent on your surroundings as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel, don't know about yourself, but I feel privileged where I'm surrounded by people that kind of allow me to be myself without too much friction. I feel that's just not the case for a lot of people. And I do feel it is important that the older you grow and the more experience you have in the game is to be able to, like, give back somehow, you know. Yeah. The best way I kind of see it and have, like, read about it is just for just you to be able to give advice just to your younger self.
Yeah.
Because then you just know that by you doing that, you just know that so many other people can relate onto it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the way I see it is just, I'm just, once in a while I'll try and give advice to just my younger self. Like, hey, like, you can do it this way. You don't have to stress about this thing or overthink about that thing. It's like, it's just not worth it. Focus on what's important. And what's important can quite often be the most simple thing, but you can get just like, like put in the mix with so many other bits that you just gets lost.
Yeah.
Gets lost. Like, so I agree with you. It is trying to like inspire other people is it's weird as well, because like the way I feel sometimes is like I want to inspire other people, but at the same time I don't feel like I've made it yet. So sometimes I feel like I don't have the authority to like do that to other people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a scale on how you go about it, because you don't want to be just like the guy that preaches but that hasn't done the thing itself.
That's true, man. That's true, bro. Like that's big facts. Like I feel like that sometimes as well. I just think, like, for example, we're brought into this world to procreate. That's my belief anyway. Like, it's just, if I just look at it, like, so the end goal basically is just to give life and just be givers basically and creators. So for me, life is about giving unto others, because when you look at, it's just a normal principle. I was actually in church one time, and my spiritual leader at the time just showed me something, and he was like, look at all the rich people in the world. Most of them, the reason why they're in a situation they're in now, like financially, is because they they created a humanitarian need. That's what he said. Like, for example, just look at simple things like cutlery, or shoes, like you got the bigger picture. Because you focus on the bigger picture, the lesser is involved in the greater, meaning that the lesser is you, yourself, your people, your family. Because you thought about the greater cause, then you're well taken care of because you thought about others. So that's why I love giving to others, or teaching other people, do the best I can to help someone else, but also finding that balance between, okay, cool, I'm not there yet. I also need to look after myself and make sure I get to that place. But along the way, if someone needs help, okay, cool, So it's just cultivating that attitude. So that when I finally get to that place, then I can, be in a position where I can help more people and man. And when you look at like real successful people are people who can reproduce success, if that makes sense, Like you can see someone that's successful and that's great, but like I look at Lil Wayne, for example, and I'm like, he was able to produce like Drake, Nicki Minaj, like it's crazy. Like, and obviously a couple other people. Like most rappers today got inspired by him. They just developed the sound. But for me, that's a successful person. So yeah, man, that's how I look at things.
Yeah. And obviously, you're big on your religion. Have you always been big on religion?
Well, yeah, I grew up in church. At first it was very toxic because it was very much like there was no relationship between myself and God. God was like this person. For example, if I dropped my Bible, I feel like he would strike me down. Like it was proper religious upbringing, and there's a difference between being religious and having a relationship with God, you know what I mean? Religion is like you just follow a set of rules and there's no connection in there. So it's like you follow the 10 Commandments like daily. But relationship is like having with God is like, listen, I make mistakes, you know, I'm not perfect, but God has decided to love me as for who I am, you know, like the you know, basic belief as a Christian is, for God so loved the world, he sent his only begotten son, and whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish and have everlasting life. So it's just a journey, you know, where you're on your way to perfection. You're not perfect, but every day you try and strive to do your best, you know.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
And what do you think that change came for you? Like, when do you think you went from the sort of like toxic side of the religion, where it's like just following commandments, and then turning to like, okay,
It's just gradually, man. It's just gradually.
it wasn't like one day. It's like,
Yeah, no, it happens gradually, because even till this day, like, yeah, you got that consciousness, that sin consciousness in your mind that makes you think, oh, just because you did this the other day, you said a white lie, or, don't know, you went out and you had a couple drinks, got drunk, or did this or did that, that you feel like you're not worthy. But, you know, it's not about that. You know, it's like, take your time. Obviously, you know, don't use it as an excuse to do those things or whatever, but at the same time, just strive to do better. So I'm still working on it, and it's all it's all a mindset, really. Yeah.
Good. What do you think? Like, obviously now you're on this journey with music, with content, and it seems like you want to multiply that big time. So that, you know, like you've been posting content, you've been doing all like a bunch of stuff. Like, do you feel like there's anything holding you back from like doing what you want to do?
Yeah.
What is it?
Cash rules everything around me. Creed, get the money. dollar bill, y'all. Hey, bro, that's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's money, bro. Like, there's nothing else. Like, money talks. Like I said, like, money talks. It literally, if you got money, if I had millions today, I walked into a room, I just had money. It's like, here, I'll pay you. Get me on this platform. They don't care whether you can't sing, whether you can. They wouldn't give a damn. Or whether you can't rap or not. They'll put you on. Do you know what I mean? Because you got money. Money doesn't buy everything, but it sorts out a lot. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of reprogramming everything, like the way I work, the way I do things, because I've had a like free-flowing way of thinking for a long time, and just way of doing things, but you can't be Peter Pan forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're in a real world, you've got to deal with situations with maturity, all the experience like everything you've experienced, you've really got to put that to work. So I got in a situation recently, I'm at the studio, my boy was, you know, letting me use. I got in a situation that kind of just made me wake up and go, raw. Yeah, I could have dealt with the situation much better. And I let that familiarity kind of just made me make a choice I shouldn't have, you know, made. And then it kind of woke me up and gone, raw, like, you know, I need to deal with things in life with a much more like professional approach, even if it's just a friend, even if it's someone I know, you know. And yeah, man, now my goal is just really to focus on getting to the bag, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get to that bag,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm gonna start working soon, like proper, just focus on just working and investing in different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, really the goal is to get assets, you know.
Yeah.
That's where it's really at, because this whole cash, and even going into this cashless society where everything's online and wired. Man, that's crazy. That's another crazy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, of
bro.
course. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The real money's like assets, man. You know what I mean? Like land and all these things that can't be taken away from you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Or at least a lot harder.
Yeah, it's harder to attain.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, harder to get from you. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's what it's like.
So
Yeah.
what's your plan here? What are you going to do money-wise? How are you going to make your money before you invest into assets? Because you need some cash.
100%. Just get a good job, good paying job.
In the within the creative industry? Or
You know what? I'd love to, but in the position I'm at right now in life, I can't wait or like invest, spend another year or two on a normal salary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did a course recently, not even recently, a couple months ago. I'm still waiting for just to get my results, and that course will allow me to get in a position where I can get like at least within like 6 months, let's say, just over 20 an hour. That's all
Nice.
I need.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? There's other ways I could, like, if it's just because I do so much things. Like, if I focus on studio, if I focus on filming, I probably would have been like further. But it's tough trying to balance music and
Yeah.
filming and different stuff.
It's hard.
It's hard, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard. Like, if I just did one thing, it's cool, but I don't.
Why not?
I can't. I can't. I can't. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, I've always had this thing where it's just like, I want to know how to do that, and I want to be the best at it.
Yeah.
Or I want to be really good. You know, I can't just do one thing, man. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just not in you.
It's just how I am, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do wish I could, because I know, for example, if I just focused on being like just working in the bank or being, I don't know, a trader or just something corporate, I would have killed it. Do you know what I mean? Because anything I put my mind into, I do it. But I just chose this creative path, man. It's not simple, man.
Yeah. Do you feel like that in itself can, like, because not like I'm not trying to like argue with you, but like because from what I've been finding out recently is like the people that, you know, like you're talking about, successful people, whatever, like they don't really do too many things. They normally just do the one.
Yeah.
And quite often they did used to do loads of stuff, and they got to a point where they were like, do you know what? I just need to do one thing. I need to do it really well. Because that's where I'm at right now. Do you know what I mean? It's coming from like, when, do you know what I was talking about earlier, where I was like, I don't want to be the guy that talks shit without being, speaks of my truth, where, because I do loads of stuff as well, and I'm not focusing on one thing. And I probably, if I did just focus on one thing, it would work out a lot better for me. Yeah, don't know.
You're right. You're not wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's probably it's a wise decision to make, and I've gone too far in my music career to focus on something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of just put different eggs in different baskets. Like, I'm working on a TV series that I wrote. It's already shot, and we're looking to pitch it.
Nice.
Now, if that takes off and that'll be my source of income, then so be it. I can reinvest it in my music or other things. But all I know is right now my main goal is just to get a constant cash flow coming in, guaranteed every month. So for now, I'm just going to work. Like, I'm good with that, because I've invested a lot into my creativity already, like time, effort, passion, like years. I'm good with that now. Like, I can not go to the studio for 2 months, go back in there. It will just take me a week or two to get back in motion, or everything else as well that I've done. So I'm good. I'm not complacent, but like mentally and spiritually, I'm good now. I can just now focus on getting my life together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, good luck with it. Like it's not easy. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy. And how old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 29. Man.
29. Yeah.
That's the thing, bro. Like, I just be chilling sometimes. And I'm like, bruv, I wish I did something else, but I don't regret it. I mean, it's my life.
Of course. Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
But I've spent enough time in what I'm doing I've invested enough in order for me now to kind of make sure I just pattern myself financially, everything else. And I'm at the stage where I'm so close, but you can say, yeah, so far, but it's almost there, you know?
I mean, yeah, there's that like classic, there's like a picture of like, you know, there's like two, there's just like a cartoon thing where there's like two people like digging for gold.
I saw that, yeah.
You seen it? It's just like, there's one guy, he's like dug like 30 foot down. It's like, nah, fuck this. And there's like a guy next to him, just like, he just did another foot and it was there. The gold was there.
That's basically my life, is that picture right now. And I'm just trying to find the smartest way possible to balance that and making sure that, you know, the other things in my life that are important, like, you know, when you have to face reality, is pattern. Do you know what I mean? Like, just normal everyday stuff, you know, because you'd have to be delusional if you think, oh yeah, there's only one way I'm gonna make it in life. That's you blocking yourself already, you know. No, like, I'm getting older. I need to have start a family, get married, and
all that stuff.
All these things
that take a lot of money
that I want. So at the end of the day, like, I can't just think how I used to think when I was 20, you know. So yeah, man, that's just where I'm at right now. Still,
it's not an easy path. I feel it, but hey, like, gotta take some risks in life.
Yeah, man. You got to, man. Yeah. Feel like, yeah, I can. That's why I kind of just do these kind of like content when I'm just being funny, because if I'm not, then I'll just
too dark.
Yeah,
it's too dark. No, I get you. Like, you gotta make light of it.
Yeah, man. You have to.
I feel that as well. Like, sometimes I'm in here like going crazy. It's like, this is dumb. Like, what am I doing? Yeah. Just get a job and get on with it.
But I feel like we all go through the same thing.
Yeah. Of course. Like, I feel a lot of people, like, especially within the sort of world where they're trying to make some sort of like alternative like way of living. Do you know what I mean? So it's the path is not really cut. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of find it yourself. It's like with a job, like, yeah, you get a job, you get a promotion, you move companies, all that stuff. But when you're actually trying to make some sort of income for yourself, it can be very complicated. And it takes a while to figure out. But, you know, we're doing it because we think it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, I don't want to be like 60, 70 and just going raw, like, I gave up, or, you know, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. I don't regret one bit of it. I do wish I made different choices when I was much younger, but I'm still alive today. Do you know what I mean? So I can't complain. Like, man's learning.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
man.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Bro, listen, I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah,
next
100%.
time. I hope you're making a lot more money and you got it together, and we can be elevating the conversation even more.
100%, man. It will be fun. It will be fun, man. It will be fun. So
we'll like reconvene in like 2 years' time. See where we're at. Yes, bro.
For sure.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
It's all good, man. Love for having me.
Love.